So this is just a quick video that I needed to make for my HRD 3600 class, just summarizing some lean topics. So just to kind of dive into things and give an idea of what we're talking about today. So lean manufacturing is just a systematic approach of reducing waste, which pretty much means, as you can see on the right hand side there, focusing on the flow, the value stream, the overall value, and creating continuous improvements. And really everything's about reducing costs, improving quality, and enhancing productivity overall to create a better system for organizations to where they're earning more profit and spending less money, which is what reducing waste is all about, really. So the first topic I want to talk about is kaizens. So really, this is just a Japanese term for continuous improvement, which means just making ongoing changes overall to impact the process and impact the organization. This is very good because it increases employee engagement overall, which means that they can have incentives and they can have different ways of employees actually being engaged and actually making these changes. And the overall plan of this is just having smaller steps to achieve a larger goal of better outputs. So whether that's in quality or timing or what have you. So 5S is the next topic here. So that's all about sort, set in order, shine, standardize, and sustain. Um, as you can see on the right hand side there, that kind of gives a little bit of a breakdown of what we're looking at as far as what those each mean. The most difficult one is definitely being sustained. So keeping a workstation clean and keeping it all set in order, standardized, it can be difficult to do. So that's normally the main area of focus, and that's the one that kind of takes a longer time. But it really overall impacts the quality of life of operators working at the stations, so they can easily do what they need to do. The five whys pretty much is a way of problem solving, so it's kind of how you get to the root cause of something. So asking yourself why something is occurring 5 times to get to what your root cause is. This is really useful because it can help identify what a hidden factor could be in something in a problem, so that way you're not going to have recurring problems from in the future from the same source. Just-in-time manufacturing is all about reducing inventory, storage costs, and the risk of quality issues overall. So this is all about making sure that your demand is being made when it's demanded, rather than having extra inventory at all. So the Gemba and Gemba walk. Gemba is a word for in Japanese for where the work is done. So that pretty much just means at the line, at the place that things are being produced, where the work's happening actually. So a Gemba walk pretty much means that you have higher ups in the organization walking through the manufacturing area, just giving insight on continuous improvement opportunities overall. So overall equipment effectiveness, as you can see on the right hand side there, it just kind of gives an idea of what you're looking at for calculating this. But it's a metric that's used to measure the efficiency of a line and individual pieces of equipment within it. So reducing your downtime and improving quality reduces your OEE overall. So this is really all about availability, performance, and then quality, as you can see. So bottlenecks in a line, a good example there on the right hand side, it's all going to be about where your manufacturing is slower than ideal. So if you have higher outputs around a certain machine and lower outputs by that machine, then that's kind of your bottleneck of the entire process. So one thing that can be difficult is preventing them from backing up into previous areas. So typically you want your bottleneck to be at the beginning of a manufacturing process, so that way you don't actually have anything building up. PDCA, or Plan Do Check Act, is a process of solving problems. I'm not going to get into this one too much, but it's really just a cycle of solving problems and figuring out what your objectives are, doing something, checking it, and then acting, so that way you can keep improving and having new goals going on. A Poka-yoke is a way of mistake proofing something. This is going to be in simple terms something like there on the right hand side with the plugs, where there's only one way of doing it, so it's kind of the only way, so it prevents any errors from happening. Another example of this would be something like the fuel tanks or the fuel fillers there, where the diameter of the diesel and a standard leaded fuel is going to be different, so that way you can't actually insert it into the wrong fuel tank. Value added work and non value added work. So, value added is all about things that the customer can actually see and what they're paying for. Non value added is going to be things that don't contribute to the actual value of the product and can be considered waste a lot of the time. But sometimes non value added work is something that's unable to be eliminated, things like certain types of movement. And sometimes there's essential non value added as well, which is something like your quality checks, which are required by the customer, but they don't actually add anything physical to the product. So that just kind of is a brief overview of some topics that I wanted to talk about in terms of lean organizations. And thank you.